Hello, everyone, and welcome to DM Talk, episode 42. Tonight, we're going to talk about the campaign and campaign ideas. Where do you go? What to do with the campaign? How do you begin doing the campaign? And how do you go from there? Before we begin, I'd like to give a big shout out to everyone on the 4th of July, just everybody around the world. Happy 4th. Here in America, happy 4th of July. Love it. On Saturday, July 5th, 7 p.m. Central, the campaign continues. Episode 25, be there or be square. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification button. Please support us, Playerole, support the group, the campaign, support the guys. Thank you. Anyways, tonight I have a little bit of a technical issue, something wrong with my communication. I'm streaming good, I'm getting the stream, but when I'm typing things up, it's showing up on my second monitor, but it's not going through the streaming platform, I guess, or maybe it is. If there's any issues you guys can see or not see, just let me know here in the comments, and I'll check them out later, try to fix that before Saturday. Anyways, campaign ideas. How do you begin with all that? You begin with the major story. At least that's what I do. Flesh out the story. What type of characters you want. Characters meaning classes, races, that type of thing. Once you get all that fleshed out, then do your overall, where you want to go with the campaign. You want a epic superhero type of campaign, overly powerful campaign. You want to go to level 20. You want to stop it at a certain section. You want do you want to continue beyond a certain level? That's what I meant to say. Or do you want milestone? Do you want level up, experience? We're doing this campaign 2. Campaign 1 was milestone. Those are things that you need to think about because it's important, and especially in a campaign. It's not a one-shot where you can just flesh out a story, get it done on a piece of paper, write it down, do your plot bubbles or whatever it is you do, and boom, good to go. No, campaign is much bigger. Campaign, there are NPCs, there are plot points, there are story arcs, where you want to go with the game. With the campaign, you have your beginning, middle, and end. Go with that format. Where you want to go. Stay with the flow. Villains, backdrops. What's the point of a villain? What should they do? Where should they go? Villains, they have their own issues. They have their own problems. They have their own say. They're just like the heroes in any game. Because in my game, I don't know about yours, in my game, the villains don't wait for the good guys to say, hey, we're gonna go to town and we're gonna make sure that villain's not there. Well, the villain might be there, might not be there. The villain he fell asleep maybe. He was in his dark chamber and decided to not go. Maybe he had a change of heart. Maybe the villain isn't really a villain. Those are the things you have to think about. Where should your campaign be? Is it contemporary? Is it fantasy? Is it sci-fi? Those are the things that you really have to focus on. Because you gotta have an overall idea before you do your session 0, before you bring it up to the players. And how many NPCs? What are the main NPCs? Are they gonna go with a party? The direction, the flow of the story is very important. Those are the things you need to understand for a game is very important. Now, if you have, I see nobody's online. Let me check my levels, streaming level here. What I mean by that, I'm checking the health. It says here everything is good. And it said failed to load live status and statistics. Please check your broadcast on each platform. I did. They're good. So hopefully you guys can see me. And why am I streaming really quick before I continue? Why am I streaming on a Wednesday? Well, the holiday is Friday. I wanted to do it on Wednesday. Wanted to make sure that DM talk and recap was out before the game on Saturday. Now, let's continue. So you have a focus where you want to go. Then you bring it up to your players in session 0. Now, I've been reading a lot of forums where guys were like, nah, we're not going to do a session 0. We're kind of like, we're going to discuss it 30 minutes before game time. Have the guys show up 30 minutes later and have a brief discussion of where you want to go. That might work out for a lot of DMs, but not for me. I'd like to make sure that the guys get their point across. Where you want to be with the campaign, what you want to do with the campaign, and if there's going to be an evil campaign, it's going to be lawful good. Is there going to be, I don't know, a party that's strung out? Whatever it is. Whatever idea or any idea that you come up with is good. Jot it down, bring it up to your players. Now, what do I mean about the flow? The flow is very important because you have like any story, any book that you read, the beginning, middle, and end. Or you can do like the movie Memento, where it started off at the end and go like that. That's genius writing. It's very difficult to convey on film, let alone write and then all of a sudden make things happen at the proper moment. That's very difficult to do. You need to be on your toes when you do something like that. Can it be done? Absolutely. Is it difficult? Yes. But mind over matter, guys. You, as a DM, have the control, have the aspiration to go ahead and do these things and to make sure that they get done properly. So the guys, gals in your party or in the players in your group are having a good time. You are the master of ceremony. You're the one telling the story. You're the one that, of course, you gotta have fun too. If you're having fun and they're having fun and they know where the campaign wants, they know where they need to be, where they want to be in the campaign, they want to be in your game, then you're good. But you gotta have a session 0. 30 minutes before game time ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. It just will not work. It will not work for me. And it may work for other people, but I'd rather have someone say, hey, Henry, tell me about the type of NPCs. Tell me where you want to go with the story. What's allowed, what's not allowed. What homebrew rule is allowed or not allowed. Those are the things that it's very important to convey in your session 0 and in your campaign. Because if they don't know the flow or the direction, the flow is more or less you as a storyteller, as a writer, you know where to go. You know you need to have a beginning, middle, and end. You know if you have those rules, those simple boom, boom, and boom, you know, can't believe I did that, you know what to do. So, where you need to be, where you need to go, those are the things the players need to know. Where you want to go with this campaign. Okay, for example, the Light, Campaign 2, the Orphanage. You know, they started out, they lost a memory. They don't know what happened. The orphanage burned down. Now they're living in an orphanage. Everything's good. The caretakers are Leandra and Cullum. They're like a mother and father figure. there are 3 kids that are part of they're Leandra's kids. There's Lila, Jaros, and Laros, the triplets. They're part of the orphans. Even though they're brothers and sisters, they are part of that group. Okay, they set out for the adventure. They open up a chest. They find a scroll. They find, X marks the spot. They find, a direction. Oh, we need to go in these caves. They go into the Underdark. There's direction. There's flow. There's not anything that's all over the place. There is direction. The focus is what happened to the missing orphans. That is being revealed on the way to where they need to go. So as they travel from point A to point B, the mystery, the pieces come together. And for me, I like to do side arcs or side stories that lead into the major story. Granted, that's an influx of characters, but I've always wanted to do an anthology to where I have my world, the world of the Minulus, the realm, and each part of that realm, you have a group of individuals, group of heroes, group of villains who have their story to tell. And I love to do that. And this is part of campaign 2. Now, everything is connected. I love to connect things. Sometimes it happens by mistake. And one player says, hey, I remember in episode number 5 where they were into this cavern and they found a chest. And there was a green gold piece, a green piece, a green something, an emerald inside of a chest. So they found it and they're like, hey, this happened to be a piece of jewelry. It happens to be awesome, but it's connected to one of the characters that they met later on, and yada, yada, yada. I'm just giving you a vague example. I'm just saying that there's some form of connection. And you can do that in your games as long as it's feasible, as long as it's not out of midair. Sometimes when you're a DM, you have things that are written and the players like to go off. You have to be on top of things. You have to come up with NPCs and names, and boom, I have a piece of paper that has a whole bunch of NPC names on the fly, just in case. But if you ever get caught in a situation where there is a problem, where the problem is, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to handle this, well, you can do it by just sandboxing. Well, getting the reaction of the players. So if they move away from your story and they go into let's say they go into a certain location in your story and you have nothing written for it, sandbox, just boom, go with the flow. But sometimes you have to feed off of your players. I like to feed off the players. So if a player gives me a lot of role playing, I'm in it. They don't give me role playing, not so much. See what I mean? Sandboxing is difficult. You have to be experienced to do it. It's difficult because you are coming up with something on the fly and they have to interact as well. Not just you, they do as well. So if there's an emotional scene, if there's a moment where it's supposed to be emotional and you don't have it written or whatever it is, you don't have a little note, this is going to happen to such and such NPC, and it happens, sandbox it. Try it. If it fails, you're going to get better. With practice, it happens. Now, the overall direction of the flow, That's all part of it. Doing your session 0, that's all part of it. The elements of a campaign is the story. The campaign is longer than a one-shot, obviously, or a 3-part story arc, or 3-shot, or even a 6-part story arc, a 6-shot. Now, if the campaign is meant for 8 episodes or 10 episodes, then let it be. The campaign doesn't have to be 30 or more episodes. That's just me, or some other DM, or the major streamers out there. You know who they are. They are professionals. They can do their campaigns 102 episodes, 115, 120. Whatever they do, that's their story arc. That's their story. And there's subplots that are attached to those stories. Now, if you create a campaign that's 6 episodes, nothing wrong with that. It's 6 episodes. To me, a campaign should be more than 3 episodes. If you do 6 episodes and you call it a side story, which I've done before, that's fine too. As long as the group that you're playing with, they're involved. And they are, let me check my levels. And they're involved and they are also into your story. You tell them straight out, okay, this campaign's only going to be 10 episodes. This campaign's going to be 6 episodes. That's it. Levels, we're not doing experience, we're doing milestone. You're going to start at level 10. You're going to start at level 5. It is a story. That's it. You're the DM. You're the one that brings the book into your session 0. Lay it down. You bring in the rules. Tell them what you're going to use. You already said your campaign idea, number 1. You already said keep a direction of your campaign. The flow, number 3. The 3 most important things to make a campaign: your ideas. What is your campaign about? The direction you want to go. It's important to you. And the flow. Beginning, middle, and end. The most key parts of a campaign and a story. Without these 3 things, you're done. It's not going to work. Then you can add 3 more. You have your villains. Excuse me. You have your villains. You have your how long should your campaign be? You tell your players, this is going to be a doozy. This is going to be a long campaign. Fine. Don't give them 30 episodes, 40 episodes. I mean, you can. But if you do that, they understand it's going to be long. So you have your villains. You know what your villains are. You know where they want to go, what they want to do. You have the length of your campaign. And third, and probably one of the most important part of a campaign is the structure. The structure. You have the structure of the campaign. Without that structure, it's going to fall apart. Remember, campaign ideas, direction you want to go, villains, how long it's going to be in the structure, stuff like that. All those things are important in your game. Use those things I pointed out because they'll help in your campaigns. Now, I mentioned the flow. The flow can be disrupted easily. Well, they haven't reached the climax of the story yet. Why haven't they reached it? Because they're role-playing or doing whatever. For me, in episode 23, they role-played the whole episode. I had to wait for the encounter in episode 24, which was last episode, which was great. But if there's a climax and there's a role-playing moment, guys, stop. Drink your water, take a deep breath, don't get mad, and enjoy that moment. You're not going to get a lot of those moments. Role-playing is great. You gotta remember, these guys are not professional actors, they're not voice actors, they're all a bunch of guys, gamers, real people, real gamers, my motto. We are here to play a game, we're here to entertain by the stories, by the way things happen. And when you get that role-playing moment, they role-play, that is amazing. Don't take that away from anybody. Let it go. And if you have to wait 2 or 3 episodes for the climax, then you know what? Let it happen. Because the climax is important, but more importantly, number 1, your players are having fun. Number 2, if the climax doesn't happen for 3, 4, realistically 2 episodes, then let it happen. Give the players the role-playing time. And 3, just as important as 1 and 2, after the role-playing time, get to the climax, because once you get to that climax, that moment that they spent role-playing will mean a lot more with that climax of the story. It will. Imagine that emotion leading up to that moment. Those are the things that's important. Those are the things those are the elements of the story that you need to know as a DM, because out of everything, those role-playing moments leading up to that climax can be something special. It will be something special because you gave them that moment. You gave each and every player that moment to shine. And once they get to that point, it's going to be so good. I had a game, a vampire game. I mentioned this before in earlier DM talks, and it was a very long game. It was a couple years in length, maybe a little bit more. And one of the main NPCs died. His name was Masamoto. He was an Assamite, and the Assamite and vampire is very deadly clan. So he was part of the party, and he died. He was more than just part of the party. He was a family member. He was like a brother. They were close to him, and he was close to them. So when he died, now I wasn't streaming, but I played really good music in the background, and it matched the scene of his death. And I had players who got up, walked out of the house, and started crying. Man, those moments are special. Why am I talking about this? Well, Vampire is not D&D, but Vampire is role-playing. Vampire is part of that umbrella of role-playing. I would never take away a role-playing moment from any player. That's where you need to be. You need to be at the point where each and every one of those players are role-playing and having a good time. So when that happens, sit back and watch the hairs on your arm fly up. They'll just come right up. And you're gonna get this feeling inside, and you're gonna love every moment of it, because they have expressed so much. They've done so much leading up to that point, whether it's Vampire, Dungeons and Dragons, or whatever it is. Those players will remember those moments. And I remember the name of the story arc was Burning Inferno, of all things. It was an apocalyptic thing where vampires were all over, and of course, like in the vampire world, there was a prince to each city. You have to meet the prince and so forth, and there was different wars. There was werewolves and mummies, and there was all cool stuff all over the place. And I'm telling you guys, in any campaign, no matter how long it is, the structure of the campaign is something. But once you have an idea, once you know where it goes, and once you divulge that idea to your players in a session 0, and everybody is on target, guys, you're dealing an epic story. You are not just the DM conveying that story, dealing that story, giving that story out, telling that story, describing that story. They are a part of that story, and they will remember those moments that they had role-playing. They'll remember the links. They'll remember everything. So not only is the direction very important, because the direction cannot be swayed. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes players take you underwater, above water, they take you all over the place. But you know what? Bring them back to the story. Remember I said sandboxing. It takes time to do that. It takes time to really get used to doing that. I'm used to it. You can pull away from the story and I'll pull you right in. I'm used to it. Last game, episode 24, they were all over the place. They were like, we had nowhere to go. We have nothing to do. They knew where to go. They knew what to do. They just needed someone to plant the seed. And one of the players did. George, who plays Mavic, went ahead and started planting the seed. Brandon, who plays Zorn, he planted the seed and he wanted to play. He wanted everybody to go. Let's go find the cross. It was stressed by the king to Razil and Edward. It was stressed by Mavic and Zorn. It was stressed by Therius. The rest of the party was all like, huh? And sometimes that happens. But once you plant the seed and you move forward, always got to do it. Sandboxing is extremely difficult, but it's only difficult if you don't have practice with it. It's only difficult if you don't know how to pick and prod and do it without them finding out. But you have to role play in that moment. And if they're not role playing, get them in that moment. Yes, is it going to be tiresome for the DM? Yes, it is. But those moments are very important. Once you bring them back into the story and things move on, you're good. And sometimes players go off on tangents. Sometimes players are all over the place. And sometimes DMs are all over the place. I'm not perfect, but I will tell you this. We all have a good time. I'm having a good time. With all the stuff I have behind the screen and the streaming and everything I got to do, I have a good time. I love doing it. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys this evening. Join us for the campaign continues, episode 25 on Saturday night, 7 p.m. Central. Guys, please subscribe. Hit the notification button. Send out the word to Playerole. Playerole.com is a website. I got a Patreon working in the mix. I got things happening. Got a cool ass table with a monitor in the middle. I got really cool things that are happening. Got a new studio. There's a lot of things happening. Playerole. Support us. And your support. Subscribe. Hit notification. And just stick with us. I got some great stories happening and great moments. I will see you Saturday at 7 p.m. Oh yeah, by the way, have a great 4th of July. Love you guys.